Okay. Welcome to the Care Bear Knits podcast. Let's get into it. I'll start with what I'm wearing. This is, and I'll try and put some photos. This is the April cardigan by Petite Knit, and I made it in some thrifted Cascade superwash merino yarn. I'm not positive what size I knit it in, probably a small or extra small, just because I know that I was nervous about running out of yarn, especially because I knew I wanted to do the modified button band. So I did the double knit button band instead of the regular ribbed button band like I did for the first one I made. So this is the second time I made this and I love it. Hooray. I guess that leads actually perfectly into my first finished object. Okay. This is my Olympe sweater vest by Petal. As you can see, this is a scrap project, and right off the bat you can also see that my project is missing the ribbed bottom, ribbed edges for the sleeves, and the double knit button band. I actually did all of that. The only thing I didn't do was attach buttons, and it just didn't fit the way I wanted it to. And I really should have known, looking at all of the project photos, that the fit of it was going to be more of a retro style vest that sort of like has a mushroom shape where it cinches at the waist and then has a lot of extra fabric. And when I put it on, I think that the combination of that shape of the vest and just, I think I knit the button band a little bit too tight, so it didn't look the best on. So that was a little upsetting, but I love the knit vests from Wool & Beyond, and a lot of them have this really beautiful I-cord edge, so I was inspired by that and said, you know what, I don't have the energy, because this project took, I kid you not, probably over a year for me to make. Much longer than probably any sweater that I've ever made, which is a little bit insane. And I love it. I'm so glad that I did it, and that it's done. It's a beautiful pattern. But also, at a certain point, sometimes you just want a project to be done, especially after basically finishing it, blocking it completely, and then trying it on it at like not working. So yeah, can you tell I'm really happy with the end result? I think I might just be happy that it's over, but no, I think it's beautiful. And you know, part of the knitting process for me always is not being afraid to rip back and make adjustments so that it becomes a piece that actually has function in my wardrobe. Otherwise, I kind of am like, what's the point? I guess the memories, but I don't know. I will say I do really appreciate that this vest has all the memories of a bunch of other knits that I did. So it's really sweet. It's like I can tell that this is from a vest that I knit for one of my friends. This one is from my memory sweater, which was the first colorwork yoke that I knit. The only one, but also the first. Even the edge is from a pillow cover that I crocheted. Yeah, so it's sweet and I like it. So I'd say all in all, at the end, it was a win, and I'll take it. I'm glad that it's in my closet now. I'm really excited about this next finished object. I'm really proud of it, I have to say. It is, well, I don't even know if I can the Paul sweater. Oh my gosh, why am I blanking on the designer? I'm gonna put it in the description. yeah, I'm blanking right now. But the Paul sweater, it's beautiful. I've never done a construction like this with this beautiful like back shoulder detail. Ugh, I love it. And I'd also never done, I don't think, a V-neck ribbed collar like that. Again, I'll put in photos that'll be better to look at than me holding it really awkwardly in front of you. But yeah, this was a project that I started probably early February, late January. I knit basically all of it, and then I put it on hold for the summer because I was really, the ribbing was really killing me at the end. There's a lot of it, which is one of the reasons why I love this pattern, is like the thick rib at the end, but getting through it was a lot. I'm so glad that I did, but I don't know that I would do it again. Anyway, so I decided over the summer that I wasn't really motivated to finish a sweater that I wasn't going to be able to wear until fall. So I put it on hold, decided to do summer knits, and then finished it up this past month when I'm now super excited to be able to wear it. So I feel like that's a good like knitting hack of like, I know some people knit seasonally, but I feel like it might be the move to knit just like a little bit ahead of the season, you know? Because I feel like in the past I've ended up with like half-finished sweaters right before the summer that I don't get to wear, you know? And now it's all blocked, all fresh, and ready for fall, so that's awesome. Yarn. I knit this in, actually let me grab it, I have it. I don't have a full skein of anything, but it calls for like a sport weight-ish wool and a fingering weight. So I held this Vilcolana mohair, which was the first time I used it. It's really pretty. I love it. It's super, super soft. Some of the best mohair that I've used, truthfully. That being said, I've only used drops mohair and Sandusgarn mohair, so take from that what you will. And then this is Rama yarn. I think that's how you say it. Anyway, it's wool. It's beautiful. Great color combo, I will say. I remember I was yarn shopping with my sister, and I kid you not, I spent so much time gathering like so many different options to find the perfect vibrant blue, and nothing was perfect. And then I realized that the ones that I picked out were off gauge, and I was like, anyway, but we found it. So, I mean, look at that match. Anyway, I was really inspired actually for the blue from Typical Bliss and her blue sweater. That's gorgeous. I kind of questioned whether or not I could pull off the really vibrant primary color, and I think I was being a little dramatic, you know. I think it would have looked good, but I don't know. I'm really happy with how this turned out and how it's sort of more muted, but also just like really, like a really deep color, if that makes sense. Anyway, highly recommend this pattern. This designer is kind of new to me, and they put out so many fantastic patterns. Yeah, so there's that one. I'm super excited for the fall to be able to wear it. And I kind of think that once the weather drops, I'm not gonna take it off. So I'm excited for that to become the sweater that I'm wearing. All right. Okay, speaking of sweaters that I have worn to death, this is my Sonja sweater that I knit in duo from Sun Garn. It's so wrinkled because I wear it probably every single day and have worn it almost every single day this summer. It's the perfect sweater for at the beach in like the evenings when it's a little chilly. It's a cotton merino blend mix and it's so soft, basically like a sweatshirt. It's lovely. I love the color. It's the perfect transitional knit. But anyway, because I knit it this is the second Sonja sweater that I've knit. And I decided I wanted to knit it in single strand and off gauge. So this is a size medium knit on 4mm instead of, I think the pattern calls for 5mm. So I knit a size up and did a needle size down, and I love the fit. And I knew I wanted a 2x2 rib with a rolled edge. That was the vision. And I originally wasn't even gonna knit another Sonja sweater. I was looking for a pattern that had a rolled edge and 2x2 rib is what I wanted. But I didn't really come across any that I liked. So I thought, I already have the Sonja sweater pattern. I know I like the fit because I knit it last winter, and I think it would be easy enough to modify. You know, it's just a classic, great drop shoulder sweater. So highly recommend. Yeah. Last finished object is, it's really pretty, is my Petal drop camisole handmade by Florence. And I'm just gonna little close up. And this is knit in Knitting for Olive pure silk, which is probably one of the most luxurious yarns that I've knit with. And then to be able to wear a handmade tank top, have someone say, "Oh, I like your tank top," and you're like, "Thank you, I made it." And I made it in pure silk is probably the best thing, the best words that I've ever come out of my mouth. I loved this pattern. It was my first time really working with lace, and Florence has described it as a really easy, beginner-friendly lace pattern, and I completely agree. The repeat is super easy to memorize and pretty much addictive. I love the side, you cannot see that. That's a little bit better. Just trust me that there's beautiful side shaping that gives it a really great fit. The I-cord edges, beautiful, gorgeous. Yeah, and this is sort of like my most successful, most like fancy summer knit. And it's definitely inspired me to want to cast on more tank tops. It's something that I do really wear. But yeah, this was very successful. I love the fit. Yeah, highly recommend. So awesome. All right, now moving on to the less exciting things, but exciting for me. So all right, let's see. I've become someone who knits socks. I don't know when that happened. I feel like I've been talking to my friends about, some of my friends who knit. I've been talking to them about how once you start knitting and making your own clothes, there's just you just start to think certain things are cool and cute that are pretty objectively not. Like, for example, a lace yoke. Would I have thought that was cute 2 years ago? Probably not. Now, freaking adorable. I love it. Same thing. I never thought I would be someone who would make socks, and now I can't make enough socks. I want to make more. I want to try out different yarns. I want to try out different heel constructions. So this is a sock that probably needs a sock blocker, truth be told. I did block it, but I think it would look so much nicer if it was just a little bit more stretched out. Then again, I feel like you don't want your socks to stretch out. So if you have any recommendations about like keeping your socks really like the right tightness around your leg and things like that, let me know. Anyway, this is I think it's called the Curly and Cool sock pattern. It's by Cool Stitches. And this pattern actually has, I want to say, 4 different options in it. You can knit a totally stockinette sock. You can knit, this one is in half twisted rib. And you can knit toe up, cuff down, for both of those options. And I would say this is a really approachable sock pattern. It has a German short row heel that is really easy. Honestly, I was surprised at how great this project was for the summer. You wouldn't think wool socks are a great project for summer, but it's portable. It's not a huge woolly sweater on your lap. So it ended up being sort of my like cafe knitting and chatting project. Yeah, so I like them a lot, and I'm excited to knit more socks and experiment with different yarns. Oh, yeah, I forgot the yarn. Okay, this is a different colorway because I'm gonna knit another pair for my mom for Christmas. But it is the Paton Sock yarn. And I just got this at Michael's, and it was on sale too, so it ended up being a really cost-effective project. That's another thing. I'm really excited to be able to, you know, treat myself a little bit and buy, you know, a 100-gram skein of really awesome sock yarn that's a little bit luxurious, and really appreciate new colorways and experiment with different techniques in sort of like a smaller project. Very excited about that. Yep, so those are those socks. And then I have a pair of everyday socks by Petite Knit, and these are knit in the well, so the toe and the cuff are both knit in the same yarn, the Paton's yarn, which is a wool and nylon blend. And then the pretty part, no, it's all pretty, but the pretty part is some Noro sock yarn. I think it's Noro Silk Garden sock. And I used that to knit my blouse #1 by My Favorite Things knitwear, and then I had some left over, and I thought, why not make socks? So these were actually my first pair, and what I love about them so much is that the first time I cast them off, they didn't really fit, but I didn't have any more yarn to make them fit or make them better, and the cuffs were really loose. So I unpicked the toe and re-picked up my stitches and added more to the length. And then I did some sock surgery and I cut off the original cuff, and then I picked up stitches and re-knit the cuff so it's a lot tighter, and they're so much more comfortable. I feel like this is the best lesson for me in taking the time to actually go back and fix some of my knits that I was originally unsatisfied with, because I cast these off and they were sitting in my sock drawer and I really didn't wear them, even though weather was the perfect thing for them to be worn. Yeah, so highly recommend going back and fixing those projects. Awesome. Well, let's move on to works in progress. Let's start with the Moby Sweater Mini. I'm sorry, I'm just kind of obsessed with this. This is a gift for my nephew. He said he wanted a yellow sweater, so I'm making him a yellow sweater. And I love this pattern. I love all the cable details. It's the first time I've done cables, and it's one of those things, like I think this happened to me when I first learned how to do German short rows, that I was really intimidated by it, and I had no idea how people made these things, and then I learned how to do it and realized it was really easy. Yeah, so this is your sign that anyone can learn to knit, and you should, because you can make really pretty things with cables. All right, let's talk about the yarn really quick because it's quite simply gorgeous. This is, let me see. I know it's a Malabrigo, well, it says right there, worsted 100% merino wool in the color 19 pollen. This is such a joy to knit with. It's squishy and soft, and I just know that my nephew's gonna love it. And if he doesn't, I'll take it back, and I don't know what I'll do to make it so I can wear it, but I'll find a way because that's how much I love it. But yeah, so I think part of the reason why I love this so much is that I find baby knits are a really good time to experiment with new techniques, right? I was sort of like intimidated by cables, but being able to take them on in a project that is smaller, sort of like the socks, it's easier, and sort of gets me over that mental block. It's like I knit him the Ingrid sweater baby, and then pretty much right after I cast that off, I knit one for myself, right? It's just like working up the courage so that I'll be able to make the knits I want. So it's really a selfish gift knit at the end of the day. Yeah. Anyway, so that's the Moby Sweater Mini. I'm hoping to finish this, well, I must finish it before Christmas. And that's the thing with baby knits, is that if you don't finish them when you say you're going to, they grow and then they can't wear it anymore. So luckily I also have a niece who's younger. So if it's too small for him, at least a different baby will be able to wear it. So anyway, really enjoying this project. Really fun, engaging knit. Love it. All right. And my other work in progress is for me. And it's really full circle because this is one of the first projects when I first started knitting that I fell in love with. I was like, this is gorgeous. And, you know, I started knitting and it kind of fell off my radar a little bit and I was drawn to other things, but I went to my local yarn store and they were having a sale and I got this Rowan Alpaca Classic for 40% off. It was crazy. It was fantastic. And when I saw that there was a sweater quantity of this yarn, I kind of knew immediately what I needed to cast on. So this is the Cumulus Blouse V-neck by Petite Knit, and it's so nice. I was kind of craving a really simple stockinette project where there weren't really any techniques that were new to me and I could just knit to my heart's content while watching TV or listening to my audiobook. So I feel like I have a good balance of some interesting, fun things to do with the Moby sweater and then a sort of just luxurious, easy knit that's kind of a little bit of a brain break. And yeah, I love this yarn. I think so I'm holding it one strand on 4mm needles. The pattern calls for 2 strands of mohair held together, originally I was gonna hold 2 strands of the alpaca cotton yarn, which is what this is, together, and I thought that it was just a little bit too thick. So I tried it with 1 strand and it was perfect. I love the weight of the fabric, how drapey it is, and it's sort of like, it looks thicker and then you get up close and you realize that it's kind of holey and has a really nice sort of like cloud-like wispy texture. So I love that. And I also, this is a very scientific test. I held 2 strands of mohair together and sort of just like rolled them in my hands a little bit and then held it next to this yarn just to compare the thickness, and it looked pretty much the same to me. Okay, let's move into some acquisitions. Aside from the Alpaca Classic from Rowan that I just got, that would have been another acquisition, but I already cast that onto a project because I was so excited. I only have one, which is this beautiful Noro yarn. This is Noro Tenon in the color Stone 24. And I kind of think this yarn is discontinued. I looked it up on Ravelry and it said it was discontinued, so that's probably why it was on sale. But I got 2 skeins of this and I already know what I want to do, and I'm so excited. But again, these are things that I never thought I would be excited to cast on, but I want to knit a really beautiful cabled hat and mittens. I just can picture myself in the winter walking around in my winter coat with my little cabled hat and this beautiful sort of like multicolored bluish gray white yarn with matching mittens, and that's all I want. So yeah, so that's my plan for this. I'm so excited. And I feel like the more that I knit with Noro yarn, the more that I want to knit with it and the more that I'm dying to get my hands on some. So I have a feeling that we'll be seeing more Noro acquisitions in the future. But that is it for now. And thank you so much for watching my first knitting podcast. I'm really excited to just talk more about knitting. It's probably one of my favorite things to do, to just hang out, chat, drink some tea. Yeah, so thanks for watching.